What's going on, y'all? This is Austin Hanna with the Schotts Dugout. This is our first official full episode. I got a special guest here. I'll introduce him here in a minute. But real quick, this episode is brought to you by Shot Sports Bar and Grill right here in New Braunfels. Your choice for sports bar and grill here in town. Good food, good service, good atmosphere, good everything. Just to recap, guys, we are doing fantasy football draft packages. The NFL season starts in a couple weeks, so make sure you guys hit us up on our website. You can email me directly at austin@dsdugout.com. We'll get you guys set up. That draft package will include your official board and labels, reserved area for 4 hours, 15% off discount card for all food purchases during the entirety of the NFL regular season. You have to be watching the NFL games to get that discount, just a heads up. We're doing dollar wings, dollar drums and flats as well. $15 domestic buckets. One free game day platter that has all of our favorite snacks on it, which is a really good deal. And then for the first time ever, I'm holding a live scoreboard in our bar to track every league that is drafting at Double Shots. We're going to keep your guys' league name up there with all your teams, and then we'll update your records weekly. So it's a good time. So just hit us up, and we're looking forward to having you out. So like I said, today I got my boy Corey Lewis here with me. So we're going to be talking back and forth on some topics here. Corey, how you doing, bud?
Doing good, man. Thanks a lot for having me out here. Shout out to Double Shots.
Thanks, buddy.
Uptown Wings.
Uptown Wings.
Best.
Yes, sir. All right, man. So so Coy here is a OU fan, obviously, and I'm a Texas fan. So my first episode that we filmed was a lot of just me talking about the greatest football team in the world right now, the University of Texas Longhorns. So today I brought on a little a counter of that. But Coy, before we get into our college football talk, man, are you into NFL a lot?
Yes.
Yeah? Do you dig the preseason, or what is your thoughts about the preseason?
I think it's good to get out there and get some live action, you know.
A little closer to that mic.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I think it's good to get out there and get some live action going, you know. I know we do they do group practices and stuff like that with other teams, but there's nothing like playing an actual game of football.
Yeah.
So I would say that it's good, especially for rookies coming in and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I think rookies will definitely benefit from it. But have you seen some of those fights that have been breaking out in those practices?
Man, look, football is entertainment.
Right.
Fights are entertaining.
Yeah.
And these guys are the best athletes in the world. Who doesn't want to see them go out there and get a little crazy every once in a while? I'm all for it. I love it.
I think it's an interesting dynamic. I mean, football's a full contact sport, right? And everybody out there is a competitor. Everybody thinks that they're better than their the guy next to them. Yeah. So you get a bunch of testosterone-filled dudes that do nothing but work out and bulk up together.
What do you think's going to happen?
Some fireworks are going to happen for sure. Right on, man. Well, have you watched any preseason game? I don't really get into preseason too much. Like, I'll put it on in the background just for like that nostalgia, just so I can have the sound of football happening. But I don't really get into it. I can watch like 5 minutes and then it kind of bores me. I did watch it this year to see some of the draft. This was like the first time in a long time that UT had some draft picks. So I've been tuning in to watch, Xavier Worthy, he's a stud, Bijan, all those guys. So I like to look at those guys and just kind of see when them get their feet wet. But I'm not a big fan. So I would rather just I think Roger Goodell made a statement that said that they're looking to do just 2 regular season games or 2 preseason games and then go into the season, which I think would be better off, more football for us, right? Because we wait for the entirety of the spring, into the summertime, and by this time we're all chomping at the bit to get it.
Yeah, too long.
Long.
Off season is way too long for football. First off, Xavier Worthy is going to be a problem. Patrick Mahomes, getting that guy is just not. It's whatever. Now he's throwing behind the back passes and stuff. I don't watch preseason football a lot. I'm more of like you. I want to get in there. I want to hear football, but it's going to be 3 minutes on in the background, and then I'm back to chasing kids around the house.
Yep, heard that.
But the same situation for me. I'm just happy to have football back, but not gonna watch preseason religiously or anything like that.
No, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to Saturday. And I know that neither of our teams are playing on Saturday, but it's the first weekend of college football. Actual games, week 0. It's weird that we have a week 0 and we don't just call it week 1. I guess it's just not a lot. There's not a big matchups.
Does it go in like the regular win-loss category?
Yeah.
In week one? See, and do these teams all play an extra game, or are their seasons done? Like, what is the deal?
I think they might have an extra bye during the season.
Okay, it seems kind of silly to me. And
Yeah.
I mean, FSU and Georgia Tech.
That's going to be a good matchup to start the season. Absolutely. But I'm looking forward to. I don't know what it's like at your house. I know you got kids running around all over the place, but my kids they make fun of me for it. Because every Saturday that I wake up during college football season, the first thing that gets put on is game day. And I'll either go back and forth between game day or the Big Ten Network, or what is that game day called? It's like the the other game day. It's on Fox. But just the first thing I do is I put that thing on, I turn up the sound. Sometimes I'll play the fight song just to make sure my kids know it's game day. Start cooking breakfast, make my cup of coffee. And there's nothing that makes me happier than that on a Saturday.
There's nothing that makes you happier than torturing your kids with the UT fight song. That's the only thing I heard out of everything you just said.
Well, whether it's unfortunate for them or not, they're raised to like the burnt orange, and so here's a little tidbit that's actually going to be entering the Hannah household here. So my daughter, Kaden, she's a senior this year. She's applying to A&M. She doesn't want to go to Texas, and I don't know how to feel about it. I love her. She's very smart. A&M's a great school to get a degree from, but I just don't know. I have a year to figure it out, I think, because I'm pretty positive she'll get in. She's a smart girl. But how do I go from loving this beautiful color and this beautiful tradition and that beautiful fight song to now having one of my own kids in the house wearing that disgusting maroon, whatever that is? I don't even know. I mean, it's going to be different. And there's no way in hell I'm going to say gig 'em ever after this episode, or unless I'm talking crap to an A&M fan. So it's an interesting dynamic, right? But I mean, I like to think that I'm a mature adult, and I will shove my UT stuff down and maybe wear an A&M dad shirt one day if she gets in.
Yeah, I mean, because that's an A&M dad shirt. That's like, it's not. You're not A&M guy.
No,
but you're
I'm an A&M dad. Yeah.
Also, I would buy a book from somebody who has escaped from a cult, so that way you can. When your daughter gets over there and finds out that that's exactly what A&M is,
it's so
you
weird.
have pointers on how to get her out of there safely.
It's so weird, yeah.
A&M's a great school. They have a lot of great programs. Their ag stuff and the stuff they do for agriculture is outstanding. So
no, absolutely, and I love that, and that's why I'm excited for her to obviously it's an amazing university. Right. So if she was to get in, I would be so happy for it. I'd have to wear an A&M shirt to go into there because otherwise I'd get jumped because
probably have some problems.
Whatever. Well, right on, man. All right, so let's talk about this week 0 here. We're here. We made it. There is not another Saturday without college football for months, thank God, right? First year of the 12-team playoff, so this is going to be – it's a whole different dynamic. First year that OU and Texas are in the SEC. So it's exciting. It's different. It's a different landscape now. Yeah. Not to pass up week 0, but I was watching a video with Sark this morning, and he was talking about week 2 that they have Michigan. And they're like, well, before the 12-team playoff, that could be detrimental to either Michigan or Texas. Mm-hmm. If they lose that game in week 2, they have to win. They have to win every single game to be in that top 4 to try to go into the national championship games. So now that there's a 12-team playoff, there's a little bit more flexibility for these blue blood teams. I think we're going to see a couple 2-loss teams.
Definitely. We definitely have some 2-loss teams in there. I don't know how common it is to have 12 1-loss teams. Not very often. You're going to have some 2-loss teams in there. I am excited to have – I'm glad – I've thought about this recently. If Texas or Oklahoma didn't want to go to the SEC and it wasn't both of us going, right, what would it look like keeping the Red River on? You know what I mean? Like, would that be a thing that happened?
Yeah, I mean, that's why, and as much as animosity as these universities have against each other, like, they are not dumb.
They know the draw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because whenever Texas lost the A&M rivalry, you almost, lost a piece of college football there for a minute, right? But yeah, no. Whenever they announced that Texas and OU were making that move, I mean, I knew exactly what. I mean, you can't get rid of the Red River rivalry. You can't. I mean, we battle each other for recruits. I mean, recognition, everything.
It's like 1906 or something crazy
Yeah,
like that. Like
I don't know.
it's been a long time. And then my other question is, who set up the Michigan-Texas game? That's a crazy out-of-conference game.
It is. So
play for both of you.
They asked Sark that in this interview that I was watching, and he said it was done before he got to Texas.
Had to have been. There's no way he signs up for
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, so next year we go to Ohio State. I think week 1. So, but again, so like, but Sark's mentality is, I want to be a national championship contender, so I need to play all the big dogs, right? Well, cool. All right, so week 0, we've got number 10 Florida State kicking off at Georgia Tech at 11 a.m. in Dublin, Ireland. That's cool. Yeah, so that's awesome.
This is, I think this is like the second or third year they've done it. I did a little bit of reading on it. And it is absolutely huge for like the Ireland money situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I think they said over 147 million euros last year is what they brought in from the game. I don't remember what game it was. Was it Notre Dame and somebody?
It was Notre Dame.
Notre Dame and somebody. I can't remember exactly who they were playing, but it was Notre Dame and somebody. Yeah, they brought in like over almost 150 million euros into like the, just the economy of Ireland, which is awesome that we can do that.
So I was watching the Pat McAfee show, and they were talking about it because they got invited to set up their show to do a game broadcast from there or whatever, or pregame, whatever. And it's like a 3-story, like legit Irish pub. And like, of course, you watch the Pat McAfee show, like those dudes are ready for that.
They're about that.
But they also said that, like you said, it's huge for Ireland. It's huge for that economy. But also, they are Europeans and all those, like they're catching on to American football big time. The NFL goes to London and all that kind of stuff too.
Brazil, I think, week 1.
Oh, really?
I think there's a Brazil game.
That's awesome.
Jets and Eagles.
Cool.
So.
But like it's like American football is growing, right? And like I think that So I was watching TikToks and whatnot, and there was this reaction dude, and it was like a British guy, and he was watching all the entrances for like all like the college football runouts, whatever. And there's some pretty intense ones. Yeah. And like they were just like, man, like this is like even more intense than your like actual soccer for them, because soccer fans are nuts.
I saw some crazy videos at the I don't remember what tournament it was. It might have been Copa America.
Copa in Miami.
But yeah, those dudes were getting after it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That was crazy.
So you got Green Bay Packers versus Philadelphia Eagles on September 6th, and that is in Brazil.
Yeah.
Nice.
And there was a story that came out about it that said like apparently green is a big gang color in Brazil, and so they were thinking, I don't know how true it was, but they were talking about them like having to wear alternate uniforms and stuff like that with no green because of the gang,
like a cartel or something like
I might have got by the internet on that one.
No,
I'm gonna run with it.
No. I saw that too. So you're not off on that one for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So this first matchup, this is going to be the first college football game, Florida State at Georgia Tech. I'm trying to pull up these odds here.
Oh, I didn't put the odds in either.
Here we go. So Florida State. So you have 11.5. Yeah. So ESPN Bet says that Florida State's a 12-point favorite.
Okay.
Speaking of Florida State, what did you think about last year of that college football playoff snub?
I mean, it sucks, but it makes sense.
Right.
I mean, you have to put, again, it's all entertainment, and they have to put the biggest. I mean, the backup for FSU.
Like the third string.
Right. He was deep. He was deep in there. And so, it's a bummer. You want to see Florida State get to play. You want to see Jordan Travis stay healthy and make it through a season. Didn't happen that way. My question is, how would it have played out if they did play and Jordan Travis was healthy?
Yeah, you think they would have still, because so I know you're going to say Texas shouldn't have been in it because you're biased, whatever, but we should have been because we had the one win over Alabama. So head to head. Alabama.
yeah.
So if anybody's going to get left out, it's going to be Alabama.
I agree with that.
Right. But yeah, I mean, like, how do you keep Nick Saban out of the college football playoff?
I would say that Kirby Smart got
He got a little.
he got screwed even more than Florida State did.
You think?
I think Georgia is easily a better team than UT and Alabama.
Yeah.
I think, and that's.
No, I mean that makes sense.
I
yeah.
think that's an unbiased opinion.
Absolutely.
I don't think that is a Texas hate thing or an
No,
Alabama
absolutely.
hate thing.
Yeah.
Georgia is Georgia.
Georgia's Georgia.
And
yeah.
their quarterback they have has been fantastic. His name is leaving my brain.
Carson Beck?
Carson Beck.
Yep.
No, is that it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I think Kirby Smart has a reason to be pissed off, and I'd like to.
So there's going to be a chip on his shoulder this year.
And Alabama and Georgia don't play this year, I don't think.
I don't know. I'll look into that.
Which is another crazy thing.
Yeah, we'll look into that whenever we do
so
our
big
picks
now.
later. Yeah, I know the SEC is completely different, and so conference realignment, like everything is different this year. There's no Pac-12.
Well, there's two.
Are they still?
Yeah, they're listing rankings.
Are you kidding
I
me?
swear to God, you can go and pull up.
Alabama does not play Georgia.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Not-
J-Bro.
oh, I'm sorry. Yes, he does.
do?
They play on September 28th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
I
do
was
play
going to
against
say, how do
Georgia.
they not play that? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can go and look up the Pac-12 and it'll have Washington and Oregon State. Is it
Oregon State.
Yeah, Washington and Oregon
Yeah.
State, 1 or 2.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Big 12, completely different now. They lost the top dogs. You know.
Yeah.
We carried that.
Snooze
We
fest.
carried that freaking conference for the entirety of it.
Snooze fest. Big 12 is now. What a bunch of bums over there.
Dude, how great was it? And even being an Oklahoma fan, how great was it? Obviously, I know you wanted to be in that Big 12 championship. I know you wanted to win that, of course, right? But do you remember how we both got snubbed by the commissioner of the Big 12? And he went out, and I remember he went to the alumni breakfast at Texas Tech, and he said, whenever you go to UT, you better beat them and blah, 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 this and this and that. And he was like talking trash about Texas and OU leaving, and we had a target on our back the entire year. And then we go to the Big 12 championship and we win it, and he has to get on stage and hand Sarkisian that trophy, and the entire stadium is just booing the shit out of him.
Texas taking the Big 12 trophy all the way home to the SEC, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about last
All
season.
right.
Last
All right.
season
We'll move on. New season, new us.
Stupid.
Right? But hey, man, this is what college football is awesome
It is.
for. Like,
It is.
there's so much passion, there's so much pride, and hell, it gives us a reason to sit here and talk to you.
Yeah.
So, all right. So back to this week 0 stuff. What do you think about that matchup? Florida State, Georgia Tech. Florida State's a whole new team basically because they lost a lot of people because of the
Transfer portal.
transfer portal. Yes, which has become just a cluster. And I love college football way more than NFL because the kids have to earn it every single day.
Right.
I think that they should be getting paid because they raise so much money for the NCAA, all that kind of stuff. But now, I don't want that to change the landscape of college football. Right?
Shouldn't be able to transfer in and out in a year.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I
don't get to start.
I didn't start last week. I'm transferring. That's insane. You're taking all the power away from the schools and the authority at that point, and you're teaching these kids that if situation is tough where you are, then all you have to do is go somewhere else and whatever.
Exactly.
And that's not, you don't learn anything from that. You don't learn any, you're not made hard.
Correct.
In that setting. As far as this Florida State, I'm going to butcher this guy's name, this Oregon State ex-quarterback. I'm going to say Uungalele.
Oh, that's
Laley.
Yeah.
So he had a really good season at Oregon State. He balled out last year.
Right.
I think they were ranked top 25, maybe top 15.
He was on Clemson before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm excited to see him come in. I think he kind of has a similar playing style to Jordan Travis a little bit.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech, on the other hand, not as a storied college,
right?
But doing a little bit of reading, they have just signed their first 5-star recruit in the modern era.
Really?
And he is the highest rated recruit since Calvin Johnson.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So he's a lineman, I believe. He's an offensive lineman, I think.
So right there is a good reason for NIL, right?
Exactly.
Because these smaller I wouldn't say smaller schools, but like you said, not the big blue bloods, right? We both know that Texas and Oklahoma and USC and Ohio State has all the money and they can just throw at these kids. But now Georgia Tech can get donors, right?
Right.
And alumni and say, hey, we want to be relevant in the SEC. Let's go out and let's go find these guys and give them some incentives. So I like that part about the transfer portal and the NILs. It broadens. We're not going to have an 11-year dynasty of Alabama just annihilating everybody every single game.
It's not going to be how it was.
Right.
And then who's I think we have some conference realignment talks later on. But it might not even be like this for very long.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with those two teams in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Other than that game, I don't really see another game that's like very attractive to my eyes on week 0.
I have a fun fact about the Montana State New Mexico.
I would love to hear that
because
they're favored by 11 on mine against the New Mexico Lobos, so they must be something.
Yeah. So the only fun fact I have about this is there's a player for Montana State that has started every game for Montana State in this decade.
How?
Justice Perkins. Well, decade is only 2024, so there's only 30 years gone.
I guess so, yeah.
So Justice Perkins has started all 41 of MSU's games this decade, but he has suffered a leg injury and might not be able to play on Saturday.
Dang.
He's 9 games short of the all-time start record,
really?
I believe, for Montana State. So
dang,
that's going to be a super big bummer if he can't finish out his senior season or his last whatever.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, so that's a bummer, but that's a really cool.
That is like that's impressive.
If you say decade, it sounds way like longer than it is. It started.
So that's, I wasn't trying to count backwards. I'm not really good at math on the spot, especially. But
I did the same thing when I originally read it. I was like,
but you got to give props to an athlete like that because you know how many freaking days that he
your
trains.
Best availability or your best ability is your availability.
Yeah, absolutely. But like the hits they take, the body wear and tear. He must be doing some Tom Brady stuff.
He's on that TB12.
Yeah,
he's doing something good.
Yeah, and then SMU, man. SMU is in the ACC now,
and they are minus 3,000 to beat Nevada. I think are the odds that I saw.
Yeah.
I'm taking Nevada by a tutty.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. And then the Delaware State Hornets at Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. I had no idea that Hawaii's mascot was called the Rainbow Warriors.
I didn't know that either.
Wow.
I also never thought that the Rainbow Warriors would be a 38-point favorite over anybody.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I'm just happy this game's streaming on like Spectrum Sports, so I won't even be able to watch it.
Well, it's at 10:59.
Yeah.
I'll be in bed.
11:59 Eastern time. So if you actually live in Delaware and you want to watch the game, it doesn't start until midnight.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Why are Delaware and Hawaii playing each other?
Imagine those beer shows, like you know what I mean? Like,
Tailgate started at 8 a.m.
Oh, that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
You're ready to be plastered before then.
Oh man, that's tough.
You got time to get off work and then go tailgate.
Yeah,
you can work like a regular day.
You can work a regular day
and then
Absolutely.
go tailgate.
Yeah. All righty, what do we got next? All right, so let's do a little preview of our college football week 1. Obviously, that's going to be the day that we're all definitely in our gear. We're all tuned into game day. We're making our game predictions. We're starting the barbecue pit. We're putting out the snacks. And that's so like sports are big in me and my history with my family. I was raised in a sports house. I just remember mostly NFL back then in my house. But every Sunday morning, I just looked forward to waking up, smelling all the snacks that my mom was making, and then you're not doing nothing. You're just snacking and couch lazing the entire day, just watching game after game. So I'm looking forward to this Saturday. So Friday, you've got Temple at 6 p.m.
Yes, sir.
So that's going to be before that Saturday. So you get a little preview. How are you feeling about Oklahoma this year?
Got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Got a lot of questions.
Who's your quarterback?
Jackson Arnold.
Okay. Is he new or is he last year?
He has one start in the NCAA.
Okay.
He threw 3 picks.
Oh.
So
sweet.
But he's not going to do that again. No, that's not possible.
Not until October 12th.
Yeah. Oh, October 12th. That's going to be a day.
Yeah. We'll touch on that for sure.
Yeah.
If you are whatever you're doing, mark October 12th off of your calendar, and we'll tell you why. in a little bit.
Yeah. Just stay tuned. So I'm not worried about our defense. Our defense was played.
Brett Venables is a defensive coach, right?
And so our defense. I mean, doing a little bit of reading, I've seen like our defense could be top 10.
Nice.
This year. So I'm good in our defense, but we're gonna need some help on our offensive side of the ball.
With that said, what do you think about this? Obviously, it's our first year in the SEC, right? And in the Big 12, we get ragged on all the time for no defense in the Big 12. So coming into the SEC, both of us need our defenses to be big boys and step that up. So what do you think about? So how important is it for your defense to come out and just shut this team down?
You got to come out and just set the pace early. You know what I mean? You got to get out there. You got to. We need 3 and out or a pick. You know what I mean? We got to come out there and get the ball back in our offense immediately, as soon as we can. We got some receiver stuff we're dealing with. I think we've lost 2 receivers. One of them, Nick. What's his name? I have it right here. Jaden Gibson. Mm-hmm. Goes down with a knee injury sometime last week. Brent Venables says in a press conference he won't be back. That was our deep ball guy. That's our guy that can really take the top off of defense and go get it. So we lost him. We're still trying to get Farouk. This guy's rooting for injuries. You saw it.
No. I don't want him to get. He's already hurt. I'm just saying that he might not be back by October 12th. So I'm getting that show ready.
So we have Farouk, who we all know is a monster.
Yeah.
He's a big dude, catches a lot of balls. He's working back. He's still not back to 100% from his injury last week. We have a guy, Nick Anderson. Nick Anderson dropped 6 passes last year. We can't do that. We got to catch the ball.
Yeah.
We got to catch the ball and move the ball down the field. We got Sawchuck coming back. Sawchuck had a hell of a season at the end of the season last year. I think over the last 5 games, he averaged 7 yards a carry.
Wow.
Over the last 5
good.
games.
That's good production.
Yes, very good. So hopefully we keep his carrying capacity up, and he's hitting these numbers still.
Does this kind of game scare you?
No, not against Temple.
Okay.
Not really. No, I mean.
So you are a 43.5-point favorite.
Yes.
Would you take the spread or would you take the points? That's a lot of points.
Like how he's thinking that.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
I won't bet like that for my team.
Oh no,
I won't do it.
You don't want to get heartbroken twice.
No, I'm invested enough. Just watching a game, I don't need to have the threat of my wife jumping down my ass for losing a bet like that. So so I'll just
then you
stick
lose
to
3 times.
Yeah, I'll bet on all the other games, but I'm not going to bet on the Oklahoma games. I would like to think I would take the points though.
Yeah,
I would like to think I have that much confidence in my guy, and I would take points. But and then our offensive line, we lost all 5 of our starters. We got 5 D1 transfers in.
Okay.
But we got to see how it goes. Our offensive line coach Bendenbaugh, I think, is a fairly highly touted offensive line guy. So if anybody can make something out of a group of guys, it's this guy. So
right on.
We're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna start out with a dub against Temple.
That's important. Got to start out hot.
Yeah, and then we'll keep it moving from there.
What game is your?
Oh man, dude, you're gonna make me look at the schedule already.
I got it right here if you want to take a look. What are you worried about on that schedule?
Oh, man.
Obviously,
I mean, the challenges are going to start for us probably week 4. I mean, go just the first SEC team that we play is going to, real program is going to be where we're going to run into our problems.
And I'm trying to figure out who I want to win that game because Tennessee has started all this crap trying to be like, we're the UT.
Well, I can make it easy for you. I root for Oklahoma and whoever UT is playing.
Yeah?
So, yeah. That's cool. So, if you want to cheer for Tennessee, I
disrespect. Well, I hate them both right now. I get it. They're talking all that like we're the UT. Like, no, you're not. You're
they are the SEC.
Has that always been an argument?
No, just now because
they're both in the SEC.
Now we're the best. Now we're in the SEC.
I didn't catch
came
that.
out.
Okay.
They came out and they stated that University of Tennessee is UT, and we are going to be abbreviated as Tex, which is whatever. We'll go and whatever. It is what it is.
So I got a question for both of you. Seeing this OU schedule, would you rather look at these games, these last 3 games you got? You got Missouri, Alabama, LSU.
Tough.
Would you rather have that early or would you have that late?
For me, it's like I don't want to I don't want to be playing LSU week 10 or whatever week it is. Yeah, week 10 to find out if we make it into the college football playoff.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want to I'd rather just get those out of the way middle of the season so we know, hey, we're a 3-loss team.
Yeah.
That's what we are.
Yeah, that's tough. Missouri, Alabama.
Yeah, 3-loss team.
LSU.
That's how we're going to lose 3. Just those last 3 are the scariest games on the schedule.
At LSU, that's
yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. Right on, dude. So, all right. So you're gonna open up with a dub.
Open up with a dub.
That's
Lock it
cool.
in.
Lock it in. He's made his prediction.
Yes.
TCU Stanford later that night. 9:30. So it's not too late. It's not a midnight game. TCU. So speaking of the Big 12, they have an opportunity to become the top dogs in the Big 12. Right?
They are slated. I would say they're one of them or Kansas State.
Kansas State. Yeah.
I mean,
even Kansas now.
Yeah.
Which is the Big 12 is going to be interesting to watch. I'm looking forward to just.
I think it's going to be a dumpster fire. I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to be one of those conferences where it's like, Oklahoma and TCU are going to play. Oklahoma State and TCU are going to play. It's going to be like a Michigan Ohio State situation where they're playing conference championship and then bam, or
Playoff
you know what I
or
mean?
whatever. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see any of those weird situations come out of the Big 12. I would take TCU in this game. I don't know anything about Stanford. I know TCU has some guys.
Yeah.
They got some receivers
Well, with
and
those
stuff like
Ivy
that.
League schools, it's harder for them to recruit because they have such high academic standards.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess TCU is a private school too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Stanford and Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Stanford guy.
Yeah. I haven't watched them since then, I don't think. But Saturday, we start the day with Clemson at Georgia. What do you think of that game?
I must have missed that one on my notes.
So
Clemson's
ranked
okay.
at 14, and Georgia's number 1, obviously, right? We just talked about how dominant Georgia is. Georgia lost a bunch of dudes, but that's a university that has dudes on dudes on dudes.
Yeah, didn't lose their quarterback.
Right.
And Dabo Sweeney doesn't use the transfer portal.
Yeah.
No chance.
No
chance.
No chance.
I don't
Man.
see. I mean, I don't take anything away from Dabo
Right.
Sweeney's coaching.
Right.
He has
No,
the
yeah.
credentials,
Absolutely.
and the backlog of
But
success.
He's not evolving.
But you have to evolve. You have to change with the game, and everybody on every podcast and every show has said this. But it's true. It's not any different today than it was then. It's just you can't. Everything happens so fast now. You have to be able to keep up, and you can't if you're not using that transfer portal.
So it's funny, like Clemson's one of those schools, right? That they had that awesome run with Trevor Lawrence, all that kind of stuff, and they've always been like a top tier blue blood school. And then they lose. They go I think they lost 2 games, and their fan base is just fucking pissed. They're like, we should be blah blah blah. Fire Dabo. I'm like, what do you think's gonna change? Like, if you fired, he's not using the transfer portal. He's not. I haven't seen any sign that he's gonna change that. But like you said, you have to give him that respect because he's built championship teams year after year. I just think that the ACC draws less high-tiered recruits because
North Carolina,
yeah,
South Carolina.
yeah.
What are these? I mean, these schools aren't football school. They're not.
So what do you think is going to happen to you think the ACC is going to last, or do you think it's going to kind of disperse like the Pac-12
I think it's
did?
the next one.
Yeah.
I think it's the next one. I think Clemson goes SEC.
SEC?
I'd
That'd be big.
It would be huge.
Yeah.
It would be crazy if Clemson went SEC. I see that happening.
And I think it's weird that Florida's in the SEC and Miami's in the ACC. It's just like a weird dynamic there.
And Florida should come. And I think that what's left after the ACC, gets scalped of Florida and Clemson, I think that they can go over there and hang out with Washington and Oregon State. And
just do a little whatever conference.
yeah, I think they should be relegated.
So, yeah.
Put them back in the WAC or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, right on. So then I got my game, Colorado State at Texas at 2:30. and I want to go to this game so bad. I know, like, so have you ever been to a Texas game here in town? Yeah. You're going to like tailgates and all stuff like that. Isn't it a badass setup?
It's a really cool. It's a really cool tailgate scene.
It's so fun. It's like family friendly and all that kind of stuff. And I want to go so bad to kick off our season, but it's a 2:30 game, and that's going to be hot as hell.
I've been to some Texas tailgates and didn't go to the game.
Yeah,
like was just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay out here. I'm drunk. This is great.
Yeah.
My notes for this game were doesn't matter Colorado by a field goal. So that's what I got for the Texas Colorado State preview.
Well, my take on it is I'm scared because I have PTSD, right? Years and years and years, Texas plays down to competition.
Yeah,
and I don't know. It's frustrating. I don't think we're there anymore. I think that Sark has set that precedent of, like, we go out there and we fight every game, like we're playing Georgia or Oklahoma or somebody like that. But again, like, I've just had too many heart attacks watching, us play UTSA or fucking Maryland or whatever. And I'm just like sitting in the fourth quarter, like, what in the actual F is going on here? And then they pull it out of their ass and they freaking end up closing it out.
Yeah.
But I'm worried about this game just because there's so much hype about Texas. And in the past, that hype gets to these kids' heads. And just because you put on that burnt orange uniform does not mean you're a superstar yet.
Dude, Quinn Ewers cut his mullet. He's good.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be fine.
Oh, I'm not worried about Quinn. I just hope that, we lost C.J. Baxter for the year, which is so detrimental, especially going in the SEC for the first year. We got Jaden Blue that's already had, he's already got, big game experience, so I'm not too worried about it. But, I mean, you lose somebody like that, like last year, like Jonathan Brooks, whenever he went out with his, ACL injury. Like, it takes a toll. Yeah, yes, next man up, but it's not Bijan Robinson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I think that let's see what this odds are. I haven't even looked at it because I don't even want to look at it.
I think it's probably in y'all's favor pretty.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. 35.5 points. I'm taking the points.
So I have a question.
Okay.
At any point last season when Nick Saban retired, were you shitting your pants thinking that Sark was going to go to Alabama?
For a minute, yes. I was, because who doesn't want to coach Alabama? And he's a prodigy of Nick Saban.
Right, yeah, a lot of ties.
But I think that since he came to – so whenever he came to the University of Texas, I didn't know how I felt about it. I knew, he's had a past, right? Obviously, he went to the rehab clinic of Nick Saban, right? Which he touches them and they just
He'll
get healed.
line you out.
And you know what I mean?
Line you out.
But whenever he came, he said that he wanted to be the coach of University of Texas because he wanted to bring Texas back up to that nationally recognizable school.
I feel like going to coach for Nick Saban is like scared straight for coaches.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, even Bill O'Brien, he was a head coach for the Texans, and he went to Nick Saban Rehab Center, and now he's back at head coaching for Boston College.
Yeah.
So even NFL head coaches come down and see, what that's like.
Right. Come down here, fuck around, and find out.
Yeah. It's going to be different without Nick Saban on the field, but I'm okay with it now that we're in the SEC. But I feel like Sark he doesn't want to walk in Nick Saban's shadow. He wants to make his own legacy at a D1 blue blood school. So whenever it came out, there was a very brief moment I was like, shit, we might lose Sark. And then he came out really quick and said, I'm not leaving the University of Texas. We just had the playoff run. I've got my I've got my guys. He's got Arch Manning.
Yeah,
for God's
but
sakes.
after y'all's new head baseball coach kind of did the same thing at A&M, and now he's now he's your guy.
Yeah, but it's a cult over there. He
read the book. Yeah. He got one of the books. He got one of the get out of the cult books. Okay.
I think like this. I don't know, but he's like, oh, there's a lot of weird stuff that happens over there. I'm like, yeah. The male chearleading, the yell leaders.
Yeah.
Oh, some weird shit.
So weird.
We could touch on that. Yes, we stole the coach of A&M.
Dirty.
But apparently we had a better offer. So whatever.
Hey,
it is what it is.
Go get your bag, coach.
Absolutely.
Go get your bag.
And we need a new baseball coach because our baseball program was
You
gone
need
down.
that. What's that one coach with the famous video of he's just
Augie?
This is the worst baseball I've ever seen in my
We'll
time.
never have another Augie. Yeah,
He's
no.
so good. Y'all have like a history of those kind of coaches though in baseball.
Yeah,
like
just-
dudes that just get on some ass, like
Yes.
ass eating season year round. ready to get after it.
And that's where I think that a coach should you should obviously you should be a good coach and not just talk shit to your players, enlighten them too, but like, yeah, we're the University of Texas, and you're gonna play like no, like, you know. I mean, back in the day, whenever we played sports, that's how we got talked to.
Yeah.
I think now it's getting a little softer, you know.
Softer.
But I also think it's good for these boys that they need to become men, and they need to know, like, yeah, you need to either work hard or you're gonna get your shit eaten, you know.
Yeah.
So this game, you know, I'm excited for it. I don't think we're gonna have a problem with it, but I don't like to, you know, I'm a scaredy cat when it comes to freaking Texas. I've just got too many bad memories.
Oh, trust
know?
me. I watched Boise State beat us with the Statue of Liberty play,
Oh,
and we shouldn't have even been in striking distance. So I know about being scared.
yep. So also at 2:30, Miami at Florida. So you have a rivalry game, week
Right
one.
off the bat. Yeah.
That's awesome. So that's gonna be a good game. In-state rivals. Back in the day, whenever, you know, so NCAA 25 just came out, right? The college football game. Have you guys bought it yet? Do y'all play video games?
I'm on
at all?
PC.
awesome.
I'm on PC, so they don't have it for
Yeah.
me.
They don't have it on PC yet?
No,
And I don't even think they will.
just console.
I don't think
Did
they
you
will.
pick it up?
Oh, I play it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
a killer game.
So back in the day, whenever we originally had it, you know, the University of Miami was always like, you know, they were the original DBU, you know, the U, right? Like, and like everybody wanted to, you know, they were the blue blood school back then. And I remember always being on there trying to be their head coach and like going through the dynasty mode and all that kind of stuff. And man, they've just been non-existent.
I mean, they had if you name the guys naming dudes segment, you can just name Miami players from like the early '90s, mid '90s, and it's just Ed Reed, right? I think Ed Reed played for Miami. There's just the list is insane. The dudes that played together in college at the U. It was nuts.
Miami, I don't know if you remember this last year. I didn't watch the game, but I watched all the highlights of it. Like they lost a game, like in the there's like 30 seconds left in the game, and the coach had them hike the ball and run it instead of just kneeling it, and
they lost
and they fumbled it.
Yes, I do.
Or he went the snap went over the dude's head, and they ran it back for a touchdown, and then they lost that game. So Miami's got a chip on their shoulder because they're supposed to be one of the blue bloods now, or getting their name back in. And that coach is going to have to do some really good things this year to make up for that, because that's pretty embarrassing.
That's a terrible way to lose a game.
Kneel the ball.
Kneel the ball. Always.
What are you doing?
Always.
Yeah.
You're not playing NCAA 25 against your buddy.
Right.
Kneel the
Like
ball.
under
You're playing
center,
real football.
get that direct snap. Stop putting no.
That was a wild play. You wonder what's going through a coach's head when he makes that call.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, what are you?
Over and under.
Right? Yeah.
You gotta be worried about that sometimes, man.
True. That is true.
You're like, what is this dude doing? Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Collusion.
Yeah.
So great weekend of football, right? And then we still have a game on Sunday night, USC at LSU. That's going to be a good game.
Lincoln Riley is going to get his stupid face kicked in that football
And
game.
I would love to talk about this with you because I'm on your side on this one. I cannot believe, like, I get it. USC is very fancy, and who would want to fucking live in California? But get a lot of money.
Matt Leinert's like the last cool USC. I guess Reggie Bush was.
Reggie Bush.
Well, they were the same year.
Yeah,
weren't
that
they?
was they were
Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush
whenever
were
the
like.
University of Texas beat them in the fourth, or Vince Young beat them to win the national championship.
Was it Vince Young or University of Texas? Which one was it?
Well, Vince Young put the team on his back.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vince Young.
Vince Young said, I'm not losing this game.
Absolute dog. Vince
His
Young.
back
was.
still hurts.
Yeah.
Still hurts.
Still hurts.
I
The
like
legend
it.
says. Yeah. But yeah, so Lincoln Riley gets up. He has y'all school just firing on all cylinders, just a crazy offense.
Offensively, we were insane.
I hated playing y'all with him because y'all quarterbacks always just freaking just drain it down the field. That's his play style. No defense, right? There was not defense. And he took that with him because USC last year was atrocious.
My favorite game, maybe my favorite college football game of all time. Not really, but
It was a fun one.
USC versus Utah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was conference championship game,
Yep.
night game in
Yep.
Utah. Caleb Williams
Got
goes
it.
out there, just blows it.
Yep.
They just melted down.
Yep.
It was amazing. I was happier. Like, there are few teams.
Right.
A Texas loss is almost as good as an Oklahoma win for me.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is the same situation.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams, Lincoln Riley USC loss is almost as nice as an Oklahoma win.
Like
on a week by week basis.
I couldn't stand Caleb Williams whenever he was for Oklahoma, obviously, but like as soon as he left and just his demeanor, like
Well, his dad's a Texas guy. You know that, right?
I did not.
Caleb Williams' dad's. I'm pretty sure Caleb Williams' dad played ball at Texas.
No shit.
Yeah.
But like I don't like the way he carried himself, and it's just like, I get it, you're good, but have a fucking slice of humble pie for a minute. So whenever I see him, go out there and blow it like that, like, was that the game that he like jumped in the
Cried.
stands and fucking cried in
Yes.
his mom's arms?
Yeah.
Look, I'm a mama's boy through and through, okay? And like that, there's no shame in like going to your mom or whatever. But like, bro, you're on national television.
Yeah.
You're a Heisman Trophy candidate. You're going to be the number one pick in the draft next year. Like, and you're up there bawling your eyes out because you lost a game. Like, and that's
I won't. Crying's a tough one because we all do it.
absolutely.
But just fucking be a man.
It made me happy.
That's all I have to.
It made me happy.
All right, what's his name? Carl Williams.
Caleb
Yeah,
Williams.
Caleb
or
Williams'
his
father,
dad's-
Carl
Carl.
Williams.
He played at Oklahoma State.
Oh, okay, wrong one. Other rivalry, other guys.
Interesting.
Bedlam, no more.
So, what do you think? So, since we're all talking about Caleb Williams, what do you think about this year as his rookie year for the Bears? What do you,
Caleb Williams is a great quarterback.
He is. He's
As
talented.
much as I hate to
Yeah.
say it, I hate the guy. I will never root for him. I only wish his downfall. But he's a good quarterback. He's going to have success. He's probably going to be in Chicago for like 10 years, probably win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And Ryan, another thing is the system that he's coming into. Ryan Poles, the Bears GM, has done a lot of work in like putting guys around him. DJ Moore, they drafted Roma Dunze from Washington. They're putting weapons
That's going
around
to be a
him.
nasty.
Their defense ended the season really well last year. And so they are putting weapons around. They're doing with Caleb Williams what they should have done with Justin Fields.
Yes, and I feel so bad for Justin Fields. That's why I hope that he wins that starting position in Pittsburgh and he goes out and just balls out.
Yeah.
Because for one, Mike Tomlin's one of my favorite head coaches of all time.
The above 500 king.
He is like he is what I think about of a football coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look at the personalities he had to wrestle with: Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, all those.
And
dudes.
he managed it
he
all.
He put those dudes together.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's just, and he has never finished a season below 500.
That's crazy.
Ever.
Yeah.
In 20 however many years.
Yeah.
Never below 500.
Man. So USC, LSU, that's a great matchup. I think that USC, we're going to find out if they have a defense. I don't know. I haven't really looked into them, but I'm on LSU on this one for sure.
I'm on LSU. 100.
Right on, dude. All right, so real quick, let's look at some win totals here. All right, so this is the SEC win totals projection. And I'll just go. So what I'll do is I'll go down the list, and you just tell me if they're going to be over or under. Georgia 10.5.
Man, I would see them winning 10.5. I'd see them making playoffs and winning
Yeah.
playoff games for sure.
Texas 10.5.
Under.
He was pretty quick on that one.
He knew that before it could be Texas 2 and he'd still say
Under.
under. I think Texas will be a 10-win team. That's my prediction. Maybe. So
We got to look at schedules because that's crazy. You don't think you're going to lose one game?
No.
Oh, 10 wins.
10 wins. 10 win team.
Playoffs,
So it'd be 10 and
playoffs
2.
yeah.
So it's 12
12
weeks.
games. Yeah. Sorry.
So I think my two losses that I have on there are not OU. So I think we're going to beat OU. I do honestly think that just because we have a really good sound concrete foundation right now. I think Georgia and A&M might be our our troubles.
A&M would be a tough one to lose.
Yeah, it would be very, very
A&M would
fucking
be
tough.
a tough one to lose.
But-
Your daughter
Yeah,
would
right at
be-
the end of the damn season too.
Yeah, at the end of the season.
Daughter just dancing in your face.
First matchup after, what was it? I don't even know how long it was, but first matchup. But the only reason why I say that is because we know how Texas gets. And, I mean, going into College Station that's a fucking stadium.
Kyle Field is a tough place to play football.
Right.
If
And
you're not A&M.
it's the last game of the season, so who's going to be healthy, right? Where we at? And it's just a rivalry game. Just like, like our game, like our matchup. I don't know, like all those years that Texas was shit. And, but every Red River rivalry, we both knew it could go either way.
Throw the record books out the window, baby.
Yeah, because it's whoever plays the best game that day for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
And that's just it. And these rivalry games just mean so much more.
And there's just a different juice about them. You know what I mean?
So I think Texas will be a 10-win team this year, which I don't know, man. So let me just ask you. I'm going to jump to Oklahoma at 7.5. Mm-hmm. I would say
Good. I would say
that's
that's optimistic
Yeah.
for me right now. At this stage, not seeing it down of Oklahoma football played yet. At this stage, 7.5 season win is a success in the first year in the SEC.
Who do you predict is in the SEC championship game?
Georgia
Yeah.
is an easy in for me. And I would like to see this is speaking with absolutely no idea about hardly any of these people, but I Missouri has just been doing better every season. You know what I
Right.
mean? They're getting a lot. They're just doing more every season.
9.5
wins right now. I think that they could slip in there and surprise somebody, but it would be remiss to say if I didn't say probably like a Georgia or a Texas or a Georgia or LSU.
Yeah. So if Texas does not make it, right, obviously I want them to be in there. I would love to see Ole Miss in there. I'm a big fan of Lane Kiffin.
Miss, I like Lane Kiffin. His father just passed away a few months ago. I have one of my really close friends is from Mississippi. He's a huge Ole Miss guy.
Yeah.
So I'll hot toddy with him, if he wants me to.
Well, I like Lane Kiffin's, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's smart, and he's a Nick Saban, he went to the Nick Saban rehab clinic. And I mean, I would like to see him successful for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So Ole Miss 9.5. Without looking at their schedule too much, I would say it's pretty accurate. Alabama. What do you think? All right, Alabama.
Kalen
DeBoer, who beat us in the playoff game.
He did. Washington was different last year, weren't they?
Yeah.
Y'all fucked around and found out.
There was a lot of calls, but
There was some. I will say that there
some
was
defensive
there
pass
was some
interference in
weird
the end
stuff.
zones.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, right? We should have made it not that close,
Yeah.
right? But first year Alabama, no Nick Saban, so weird. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think the culture transfers? Obviously, they still have dudes on dudes. Do you think the
guys
culture
are still going to be
transfers?
going to Alabama. Some of these players probably go to Alabama just on the hopes that, hey, Nick Saban might just be here one day. You know what I mean?
I think he still has an office there.
Of course.
And I think he's still doing athletic department
he
stuff.
probably didn't even ask for it. They were just like, we're going to put this room here for you.
Yeah,
and
if
you
you have
wanna
a
come,
lifetime
you
key card.
can. Yeah.
So I'm a jabroni. What happened to him?
So he just retired.
He's just
he's done.
He's like 72 or 73
Oh,
years old.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he just left.
And he came out and he made a statement after he retired, and his wife was talking to him. And so his wife was very involved with all their recruitment. She would go and talk to the families and the moms and hey, we're going to take care of your kid, like that kind of thing. We're going to make him a man. You want to talk about the two most greatest impacts on young people's lives. Like that's definitely, one of probably one of the best.
Really?
But she went to him and she said, hey, we're going in this NIL transfer portal system now. We're going in these people's homes, and it's not about what are you going to do for my son. It's how much money are you going to give him? And then they lost their passion for it. And he's like, we're no longer developing young men. We are now doing business deals, and that's just not his passion.
I don't know.
Do you think that's gonna? I'm sorry, brother.
I don't know when it's going to start or if it has started this year, but I believe that colleges got like a 20 million, like the actual school itself got like a 20
$76 or $75 million allowance, basically.
Yeah, like every like
Are you
across the
kidding me?
whole NCAA, I think it's like each school gets like 20 million or something like that
Yeah.
to give out to bring kids in.
And
As
it has to be dispersed equally
Yeah.
amongst all the sport.
Yeah.
I think it's up to each university, but the big controversy now is the whole Title IX, right? The female sports whatever. But like, and I was actually listening to a talk show this morning with Full Ride on ESPN College Network, or whatever, and they were talking to the University of Texas News swim coach, which is random. But I guess he's the guy that coached Michael Phelps at Arizona State or whatever. So and he coached that Olympian from France that just won like all those gold medals. But he said, they asked him like, what do you think is going to happen with that money? And of course, his first answer was like, well, I'm not going to get into that because, whatever. He's like, but I think the University of Texas will do what's right and spread it out amongst the people.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at your revenue driving sports, right? That's the main thing here. Whenever we talk about equal pay and all that kind of stuff, like, well, what is driving revenue?
It's all percentages.
Right. So obviously, football is number one at all these schools.
Yep.
Did you just hear the Cowboys' valuation?
10.2 billion.
Yeah, something crazy like that.
Just sell the team, Jerry.
Yeah.
Just sell the fucking team, Jerry.
$10.2 billion.
Please sell the team so I have a chance to be happy on a Sunday.
Exactly.
Anyway.
So do you think this is helping? In high school you prepare for college.
Right.
In college and what they're doing with this, is it preparing them for the pros?
I think whenever it first came out, it was a cluster F, right? I think that they've done a lot of good things to kind of reel it in a little bit because some of these NIL deals were just getting out of hand. You're giving an 18-year-old kid millions of dollars.
Lambeau of Austin just gave 2 fucking high school kids Lamborghinis to play for UT, so
If you're
How
out there
smart is that?
and you want to go play for a good university, you
Be
want to drive a
careful.
Lamborghini, go to UT.
be careful if you're driving around Austin. They're giving
Hey,
12-year-old supercars.
they need to be careful about handing those out of Georgia. Have you seen how many freaking speeding tickets and racing?
Henry Ruggs or
Yeah.
whatever his name is.
Yeah,
all
like
that stuff. Yeah.
Georgia needs to worry about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, so speaking of NFL or NIL and Lambos, did you see that picture of freaking all the recruits walking into DKR? There's just Lambos just stacked
for him.
in the walkway, just like welcome to the University of Texas.
Yeah.
What are you doing though, man?
So
That's scary, bro.
You have to.
What would you do at 21 with that?
I'd be dead
at
or in
18
jail.
with that
I
much
wouldn't
money.
be here.
Yeah, I'd be dead or in jail. No shit.
You have to. So look, I'm all for people making their money. Get your bag. I'm
Yeah,
all for it.
No, and they deserve it because NCAA kills revenue.
But they still have to make sure that they're giving these kids the right tools to manage it.
They need to
and-
have agents,
right.
not blood-sucking agents that are trying
Yeah.
to get a commission, but like school-sponsored agents that already get a paycheck.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Don't bring in those big agents.
Yeah.
And then
I-
teach them responsibility now. You can get hurt tomorrow. Put that money.
But I do think it's good in the sense that when these kids get to the NFL, they're not just getting rich.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like in college, yeah, you have NIL deals, you got a lot of money, you made a lot of money, but you're so restricted. You have curfews, you have all this stuff that's going to limit what you can do really. When you get into the NFL, you don't have that. So a guy coming out from, 5-10 years ago, coming out of college, going straight into the NFL, and then getting millions and millions of dollars, and it's a brand new thing for him, and he doesn't have the structure that he
blows it.
Yeah, and he blows it, or he wrecks his Lambo,
It's like,
or whatever.
It's like
he
oil
does,
field dudes. They get that paycheck and they
Yeah.
go buy an $800,000 truck and then they get laid off the next week.
they come back to their hometown and party it up. Right?
Right. And so, like, I think that you have to. It can be good. It can be a good program. It can set them up for more
definitely,
success in the NFL. Just not being given a large sum of money with no supervision. As long as I like what you said, that idea of these colleges should hire people to market for these kids, and they shouldn't be agents, they shouldn't be lawyers, they need to be financial coaches,
Financial management, yeah.
these
for
people,
sure.
these kids, if you're on a scholarship, if you're on an NIL deal, you should have to take financial classes in college.
Absolutely.
I think that is without it, it should be obvious.
Yeah. All right, so I think we are getting a little close on time, so let's jump to. I don't
You want to talk about baseball?
fuck
You want to talk about baseball?
Yeah, I do.
I can talk about baseball.
I know you can talk about baseball.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about baseball. Yeah. All right, so where are y'all at? Y'all are number one in the division. How many games up?
5.5
from the Mariners.
Yes, it would be the Mariners. I will tell you right now.
I hate this topic.
It's a good topic, dude. You have to talk all sports. You know,
all sports matter.
That's what it says. Yeah, so we are 5 games up on Seattle, and just going down the list a little bit on how many games we are of the rest of the AL West. We're 11 games up on Texas.
God damn.
14.5 games up on Oakland, and 15.5 games up on LA, the Angels, and. Man, there was a time not long ago where...
I'm an Astros fan, sorry.
Yeah. You're liking this one then. There was a time not long ago
what does that say?
Where we were like 3rd or 4th in the division, I think.
Oh, it's right. It's on this side. It says 2023 World Series champions.
I have a couple of those.
Oh, well, it wasn't last year. So.
It wasn't. Hey, y'all are champions until you're not.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Let's talk about that series, though.
Which one?
ALCS last year. Okay. Texas and Houston, dude. Mm-hmm. What a fucking
It was a great series. It was electric. 7-game series.
7-game, no home wins.
No home wins, which was bananas.
Crazy.
Absolutely insane.
Adolis Garcia made y'all his daddy.
Texas went on like a crazy, well, yeah, he was, somebody has to put the steroids in his butt.
Oh, okay.
Because that's obvious.
Yeah.
You don't get the muscles that go from here to the back of your ears naturally.
Why do you need muscles on your shoulders?
Right. You don't need to be able to, you shouldn't be able to.
This is coming from a fucking Astros fan who used a trash can
you shouldn't
to
be
win
able
the
to
2017
your
World Series.
earlobes. You should not be able to flex your earlobes.
Okay, anyways.
So, yeah, it was a great series.
Great series.
Texas went on to beat Arizona.
Yeah.
In the World Series.
That was the World Series, I think. The Astros versus Rangers.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Whoever won that one was going to win the World Series, no doubt.
Who was it? Who did Arizona beat?
Phillies?
Yeah. Once Arizona beat the Phillies and they were going,
yeah.
We knew that it was pretty solid chance for whoever win.
I was hoping that Texas was going to pull their head out of their ass and come back. We were plagued with injuries, all that kind of stuff. We're just getting dudes back, not in time.
Yeah.
Bats went cold. When last year the bats were hot.
Yeah.
We just got hot last year.
And we're doing that right now.
Are you?
We are 10 out of the last 11 games. We won. Walk off last night by Yachty.
So I have some questions to ask you
about
your Astros that my lovely assistant gave me because she's an Astros fan too.
Okay.
All right, so what's going on with Bregman once he hits free agency?
They'll sign him.
Yeah?
They'll sign him. He's not going to go anywhere.
Heard. And they have enough money for that?
I'm sure.
Yeah. Ryan Presley, injury. How's that going to affect your bullpen?
Ryan Presley, I just met him.
Really?
Yeah, I was at the Rangers-Astros game
up
in Dallas
I saw
a few weeks ago, so I got to be on the field for BP and stuff like that, and Presley was down there talking to some guys, so I asked him for a picture, got him to sign a ball.
Hell yeah.
He's washed. I think he's washed. Sorry, Ryan Presley. If you ever see this, I doubt you will. I love you for what
Let's make it happen. Let's bring him on the show.
I love you for what you did for us last our World Series season a couple years ago. You were an amazing closer in the playoffs for us. You've been an amazing closer for us. I think you're 34. I think he's around that age, and so.
Yeah, but doesn't Verlander like fucking?
Verlander is not a normal person. You can't talk about Ryan Presley like you can talk about Kershaw or Verlander or any of these guys that aren't human beings.
Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer's human. He plays every 7 weeks, and then he has his little shoulder hurts.
Whatever. The dude's a fucking dog.
I mean, he's a unit, and he looks insane.
With his two different color eyes.
I was watching a game, and they were doing one of those like in-game interviews with him. He wasn't pitching, so he's just posted up, and the whole time I felt like when he would look and I would see his eyes, I felt like he was like looking into my heart, soul, and he was on a TV.
That's probably what the batters feel like.
Yeah, that's so trippy to me. I'm like, that dude needs to wear contacts or something to pitch against me.
Facing Nolan Ryan, batters were literally scared to go to the batter's box against Nolan Ryan. That was an amazing pitcher for the Rangers.
Yeah, I have his autograph.
Now he's the fucking owner of the fucking Astros. Yeah. All right, so Minute Maid Park is hosting the 2026 World Baseball Classic and the 2026 World Cup.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. Yeah, the World Cup's going to be crazy. We have, I think we have the World Cup and the Olympics, and we have so many worldwide sporting events coming to America over the next 10 years before the end of the 2020s.
Could have swore it was on the same time frame though.
No, it's the World Baseball Classic's every 2 years. Yeah, so they just.
Oh, it's not the All-Star freaking. Okay, I was thinking it was the All-Star break.
No, that was in.
That's
y'all
that
had that great singer. What was her? I don't remember her name. Oh man, how do the World Series champs hire somebody to butcher the freaking national anthem? Luckily, Chris Stapleton came, or whoever it was.
I think I could have sang it a little bit better.
We're in the business of baseball, not booking singers.
Yeah, apparently I see that because you hired the day after she came out and was like, I'm drunk, I'm going to rehab.
She went to rehab.
Yeah,
she said, okay, so I don't know if that was her being like, I got to make some sort of fucking PR move right now.
No, but now she's a hero because she butchers the national anthem, goes to rehab, gets her life back together, comes out, drops an album, and now she has this huge savior story.
Comeback story.
Because she was a degenerate one day.
No, but Chris Stapleton did nail that.
Did kill it. Way to make up for that. Thank God. We might have sent y'all somebody's contact information to get you in contact with a real person that could sing the national anthem. Whatever. Because y'all have the same girl that sings for the Stars, right? Does the Dallas Stars same girl sing for y'all?
I don't know. I have. So I'm not a hockey fan, but I would on another episode I want to bring up hockey with you because I know you just went to a few hockey games this past year, and I want to get into hockey. So
hockey is electric.
We'll plug that into another episode.
Yeah.
Because I watched it for a little bit this past year, and man, it's fucking cool.
It's an electric atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
When you go to the games, it's different.
I hate that they took away Rampage from here, man.
I know those.
That was fun.
They have. It's a little bit further, but Cedar Park has the Stars. They're called the Texas Stars. It's their farm system.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, they're right up there, not far away.
No, it's on my list to go to a game.
It's out. Let's do it, dude. I'll go with you for sure.
I think hockey and soccer have the most secretive atmospheres. Not a lot of people talk about it, but when you go, it's freaking amazing. Dude. Yeah.
I want to go to the Austin FC.
Austin FC. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You've been in one of those too? No? Yeah.
Playoff hockey also is just electric. Regular season hockey is great. It's really fun.
That's what I was watching. I was watching the playoffs.
There's no better game. There's no better sporting event, and I will probably stand by this until I die. There's no better sporting event than a Game 7 in the hockey, a hockey playoff game. There's nothing better. It's different.
All right. It's on my to-do list.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
Well, man, I think we are pretty much out of time today. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Cool, man.
Like I said, Coy Lewis, he'll be coming on more episodes with us. Good talking points. We annihilated college football. Next week, if you want to come back on, we will actually get into some more stuff on college football because we'll be in it after this weekend.
We'll have some tape to review.
Yeah.
Gotta try to get the all 22 footage, so we can really break it down.
I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
J-Rock, thank you as always, my friend.
Always, man.
At Collab Space Studio, Social Plug Media. This is Austin Hannon with Corey Lewis. We are the Double Shots Dugout. Later, y'all. Have a good week. Later.